I've had a few comments already about 𝗧𝗸𝗀𝗀 supposedly getting exposed, right? So if you look at this email here, a channel decides to send him an email saying that they're going to give him a donation. So they then meet with him, right?
We set up our tables, briefed our extras, and hid our cameramen. Then, probably the most infectious man in Britain finally arrived.
So they called him the most infectious person, yeah, regarding CV, right? And then what do? They shake his hand. So make your mind up. You either believe in it or you don't. So again, you know, there's a lot of stuff in this I'm not too sure about, but let's carry on.
Medias and things. Absolute pleasure to meet you.
Lovely to see you.
How are you?
Well, I'm very well.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
We're glad to see you.
I've been seeing a lot of you lately, all over different social medias and things.
And that Trafalgar Square on Saturday was...
That was amazing.
I wasn't lucky enough to be there, but it looked unbelievable.
Yeah. Would you like a pizza?
While Archie offered pizza.
Oh yes, please. I'll have meat feast.
Restaurants, and then
so he starts talking about like his backstory, but basically what it is, he's going to make out like he's got shares in one of the brands of jab, yeah?
Investment. One of our main interests, funnily enough, is actually we've got shareholdings in the AstraZeneca vaccine. Can you believe that? You know, it's in the AstraZeneca vaccine. Can you believe that? You know, it's holdings in the AstraZeneca.
So instead of saying, okay, well, I've got to go now because obviously my whole work is against companies such as that, he laughs because obviously he just wants a donation, yeah? If it's real, that's what a real person would be thinking, yeah?
Money out of AstraZeneca, but shared some wacky views on the other vaccines.
Moderna and Pfizer give those magnetic things, don't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that is very, very scary.
I began to tease it a little. But, you know, if we can obviously help in any way to help your campaign, that's obviously going to help us. We've got shared interests.
It clearly is. I mean, but, yeah, okay. No, absolutely.
We actually even, you know, brought along a little something today that was just a token of, you know, our intention of helping out with your campaign.
I was pleased.
So, yes.
Yeah, and we like to keep it off, off the book. Showed him 10 grand in cash, but this is obviously just a sort of statement of intent. Showed him 10 grand in cash.
So if it was real, 𝗧𝗸𝗀𝗀 right now is sort of sitting there with people flashing 10 grand in cash to him, yeah? Okay then.
So there's £10,000 there. Showed him 10 grand in cash, but this is obviously just a sort of statement of intent. We'd love to keep funding you. So there's £10,000 there.
That's astounding. I mean,
yeah, it's.
I have £10,000 in
Excuse me, we don't want to announce that to the whole. You know, that's just a bit from the stage.
I mean, if it was real, I'd be very suspect of the two men sort of laughing so unprofessionally when they've got 10 grand in their hand. It just, I don't know. It doesn't look real to me, any of this. But let's carry on.
Yeah,
that is brilliant.
It's quite rare to have £10,000 in
Excuse me, we don't want to announce that to the whole. You know, that's just a bit from the stage. Remarkably, Piers was delighted with the money made from the vaccine company, but claimed he couldn't be influenced.
Well, as long as I can accept it with there's no insistence on any policy changes or anything like that.
But because we hadn't yet switched the money, we hadn't handed him the envelope.
Which is a fact, but
it is. I mean, a vaccine.
Okay.
Piers Corbyn started writing down benefits of the AstraZeneca vaccine.
Okay, AZ, not a mRNA.
Yeah. You know, just... Which is a fact, but
It is. I mean, you know, we're not saying change any policy, but if they could be slightly ignored more, that would obviously be helpful for us.
And said yeah to our request for AstraZeneca to be ignored. Now, of course, we weren't insisting on any policy changes, but it seems Mr. Corbyn was open to the idea of accepting our donation and focusing his efforts on Pfizer and Moderna. It was time for Archie and his magic mate Henry to switch the...
I don't know.
Where do we start?
Had passed go and collect whatever want. It was time to talk more business.
You know, I'm not going to go into specifics, but we've done very well out of being in...
how much do you think you have made from it?
But AstraZeneca was going to make him £10,000, which might not be a great look. But luckily, Piers had a plan.
People ask where does this come from, I say it's somebody who's a businessman that runs a restaurant.
You wouldn't say it's come straight from AstraZeneca, even though it has. You wouldn't say it's come straight from AstraZeneca, even though it has. Yeah, because I mean technically it kind of has, but we don't have to say that.
I mean, I suppose sort of going...
Because I mean technically it kind of has, but we don't have to say that.
I mean, I suppose sort of going forward, it's just that sort of focus on leaving AstraZeneca out of it wherever possible. We appreciate that's not...
We can't have a full policy change, but we'll focus on Pfizer and Moderna and...
Well, it'll happen anyway, but without any interference.
Yeah.
So it's
brilliant.
I think where's that money gone?
Oh, I've got it.
Where's that money gone?
Oh, I've got it. Don't worry. Keeping it safe.
So
where's that money gone?
Oh, I've got it. Don't worry. Keeping it safe.
So apparently the idea that anti-vaxxers will focus on Pfizer and Moderna will now happen anyway, which obviously has nothing to do with our donation. It was time for a quick selfie and a transfer of cold, hard monopoly money. Whether people choose to get a vaccine or not is entirely their business. But listening to people that spread misinformation about vaccines, particularly when they're accepting £10,000 made from vaccines, is perhaps a different matter altogether.
I've watched it now 3 times. And I'm now leaning to the fact that I believe it's a predetermined thing that was going to happen. They're going to pretend like they're exposing him. He's going to pretend like he's taken a donation that goes totally against his principles. I think what it's done is probably so that the people that were following him, the real genuine people who are actually following Piers Corbyn still, because obviously if you're on my channel you're probably definitely not going to be following Piers Corbyn, right? But if the genuine people who are see that, they're going to feel let down, and then it's going to disillusion them, and that's what they want. They want people's minds to be fragile. The mind's a fragile thing, so little losses here, little fails here, they all add up, and they want it to tire people out and give them mental fatigue. So it's probably just another psyop, another staged video where he's making out that he'll do whatever for a donation of 10 grand and the promise of more. He'll go against his principles. He'll do exactly the opposite of what he so-called risks his life for and his freedom by getting arrested 133 times, whatever it is. So yeah, 1 second. For me, it's the whole thing. It's so unprofessional, how it's sort of acted out. It feels like he's literally there to make you feel disillusioned and feel betrayed. Oh look, he's basically taking a bribe from the enemy. The whole point of the video is to do that. Make you think that you can't even trust good old Piers, the one who gets arrested all the time for us, for the cause, boots on the ground. That's what I hear all the time. I'm not interested in boots on the ground that belong to actors. Alright? Simple as that. So yeah, my summary is that I don't believe it to be a real video, this. I think it's staged. I think it's predetermined. It's all about making him look bad and further discrediting the anti-lockdown movement, the truth movement, the freedom movement, whatever you want to call it. I'm just here for the pure truth, because I don't want to be misled. We've already been misled and deceived by the elites all our life, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. And I definitely don't want to be misled by controlled opposition like 𝗧𝗸𝗀𝗀. And remember, 𝗧𝗸𝗀𝗀𝗀 was on the stage, so that makes that stage compromised on Saturday, whenever it was. I can't remember anymore. Everything seems like day after day after day. Anyway, so if you're watching this video, don't get disillusioned with Piers. Realise he's just an actor, and this is a script. Sometimes the actors are going to have downfalls. They're not always going to be rising to the top, yeah? And the same goes for people like 𝗧𝗸𝗲𝗀𝗀. He had his demise, yeah? Let's leave it there then. Okay, so remember, don't believe everything you see. Watch it a few times, because then everything starts to reveal itself. And judge people not on what they say, judge them on what they do. Anyone can say anything. Remember, an actor is paid to say anything and make you believe what they say. 𝗧𝗸𝗀𝗀𝗀, two massive examples of actors who are trying to make you believe in them, okay? Don't fall for it. Remember that 𝗧𝗸𝗀𝗀𝗀 is connected to this man on the right, who is your renter thug, who they put in the Daily Mail to make us look bad, to make it look like we are people who are basically football hooligans. That's the stereotype they want, okay? So don't fall for it. So yeah, that 𝗧𝗸𝗀𝗀𝗀 video of him getting so-called exposed on the channel, yeah, right, okay. Sorry, I don't believe it. I think Piers is part of that. He didn't get conned, he didn't get exposed. He's part of it, okay? He's just an actor. Difference is he's been doing it for decades. Remember the picture I showed you all of him with the Queen, yeah? When he was at college? Yeah. Alright? Peace for now. Where there's darkness we shine our light the brightest.